Usually I found myself most of the time being the only black, non-white person on a set. That has been my experience through, most shoots. There's a lot where I'm like, I should have done this, I should have done this, but I know that I
Yeah.
couldn't have done that because I didn't know what I know now. So how could I have
Yeah.
known that then?
Hello, and welcome to Creatives Like Us, where I speak with creatives of colour who share journeys and stories and ideas and how they can inspire and open up avenues in creative industries. I'm your host, graphic designer Angela Lyons, and with the help of my guests, I will bring you insightful interviews and compelling stories that can inspire you to think about things differently or shape your next move. Being a creative of colour can bring its challenges, highs and lows and in-betweens. But this podcast is about amplifying our voices and celebrating together. So, are you ready? Let's get started with Creatives Like Us. Hello, and welcome to Creatives Like Us. And today I'm talking to, is it Gabriel or Gabriel? How do you pronounce it?
Gabriel.
Do you want to introduce
Gabriel's
yourself?
fine.
Gabriel.
My name is
Gabriel.
Gabriel Hutchinson.
Cool. And what type of creative are you?
I am a photographer. It makes me a visual creative, I believe.
Yeah, visual photographer. Brilliant. Is there anything else around photography you do? Do you video or is it just all photography? Like static shots or?
No, I do a video. I wouldn't say I kind of put myself out there as a video person. I don't want to try and be too thin across all the creative things, but it's something that I am actually actively doing more and more of, just me by myself. I have shot a lot of video. I've got a few friends who do a hell of a lot of video who are really really great and talented. I had to come on shoots and learn from them. So I try and stick to stills because stills are my thing. They always have been my thing. But I'm not scared of a few more frames per second.
Technical now, get all technical. So how did you start? How did you become a photographer? Can you give us and share a bit of your journey?
Yeah. How did I become a photographer? I mean, I don't know if I am still. It's probably the first thing I'd say. I don't know if I have made it. Have I made it?
Hang on a minute. So the definition of if you made it. So definition of made it. So you take photographs and you submit an
Yes.
invoice and they pay you.
Most of the time they do pay me. Yes. It's great. I love it. I love when they pay me. I feel really silly. You've asked this before, and I don't know how I started. I know when I started. If that's maybe a bit asked. I remember being a child and going to the Lake District with my mother and some of our friends. And my mother had bought, you remember these old, like small 35mm cameras from Boots. You could buy them for kids. They were
The disposable ones or?
no, not even disposable ones, just like actual film ones.
Yes,
You
I
put
know.
film in,
The
but
film.
they were cheap. Yeah, the little
Yes,
the
I know.
filming.
Yeah.
And my one was purple and it had a green caterpillar. Is that what they called them? Yes. So what are they called? Caterpillar on the front of it. I thought, what the animal is called? Yeah. Anyway, and my mum gave me that, and I shot 36 pictures of the sheep in front of our cottage we were staying in. That I ran through the whole roll in about
Oh, just
5 minutes.
the sheep.
I've just turned to me like that was for the whole where we were there, 3-4 days. I forget we were there. So that's how I started. I've always just done it. And yeah, I've gone a bit further than the sheep these days. But no, I mean, honestly, I've always kind of done it. It was always been the plan. Obviously, during school, you have to do your French, your English and your maths and sciences. And I just did photography for myself. Over them, I remember bringing in pictures of dogs that I met to school and showing people in their little video box because people liked them because they were dog pictures. Still works. Memes are memes. Yeah, and honestly, it just went on from there. I went to college for it because, after being in school, there's no sort of, arts thing for photography. During school, I also did art, but I can't paint and I can't draw. But for my final major project, I was smart. I used pictures and So I did a 3D model of my entire house. And I went around taking pictures of all my house. So the floor, the carpet, the walls, the light switches, the front door, and built a 3D model of my entire house and stuck the pictures on the 3D walls. I passed a little bit, so it was fun. Yeah, then I went to college for it because that's what I had to do because I didn't know anything else. I passed that. And then I went to uni for it. And they threw me out after a year. Didn't pass that.
Okay, so uni was a swift exit after a year. And then did you go and work?
So at that point, I was living in Derby, England, right in the middle, which its main fact is it's the furthest point from any beach. That's how central it is. It's quite nice. I was living there because, as I say to my friends, I was fresh princed away from London. because my mother and father thought London was a bit too dangerous for a kind of teenage boy, which is
Hmm.
probably correct, actually. So, yeah, so I was living up in Derby. So I had to get back down to London. That's all I kind of knew, was I had to get back to London properly. So, and this is a weird jump. I was working nights during uni at Sainsbury's. People from for England. That is our supermarket. It's one of the, I would say, the best one. But
Wow.
they
We were
don't actually give
discussing
a.
tea bags before, weren't we?
They,
And
well,
you've got
that's why I have
Sainsbury's
the
tea
Sainsbury's
bags.
tea
So
bags. That's why I have them. I still treat my roots. um, yeah, I was doing university during the year of university for the threw me up. I was doing nights, so I would stock shelves at night, stuff like that. So after I got thrown out, I knew I wanted to get my down to London, and the only way I knew how was through that job. And for some reason, they let me become a deputy store manager in training of the Euston Station Sainsbury's. For some reason. Anyway, so literally one day I went from
yeah,
being only given the what's the word, the kind of trust of being able to put a box of tea from a trolley to a
one
shelf,
shelf
to then being, can you run one of our busiest stores and count
in
cash and have
central London.
and central
Wow.
London have a team of like 15 staff who are all older than you and don't like you because you're a young kid coming in wearing a suit and tie and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, but that got me down to London, and there I was back in London again. Then what actually got me into London was I locked my keys in my house that I was staying in at the kind of time. That's how I got my job. Funnily enough, I saw a job advert for a photo studio. It was actually a apprenticeship. So shout out to the scheme.
Apprenticeship scheme in the UK is government backed, isn't it? But a company would actually, I suppose, work in conjunction with the government and then the apprentice.
Sure, it wasn't really made for people like me at the time. It probably would have been made for me pre-college or
Yeah, like leaving
university.
school. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I think I definitely came a bit too late, and the reason I know that is because when I joined and I got the job and stuff like that, I was made to do my GCSEs again because, quote, done them too long ago. They didn't count anymore, so I had to prove
Okay.
that I could do my English and maths again. So that was my kind of door in. I'm pretty sure what they were really looking for was just a kind of cheap way to get someone who could do stuff cheaply, and that's fair enough. That's capitalism, I guess. Get someone who wants to do it with experience. I think at that point, I think money wise, I think I was earning £650 per month. Yeah, so they were looking for someone. I think what the job description was, just assistant, just studio assistant, busybody, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, I applied for that job, and that was at Motel Studios, run by a really great photographer called John Wright and his wife Samantha. And they're the ones, who gave me my kind of break into the real world of
Hmm.
photography, where
Hmm.
it's serious and you actually do stuff properly.
Are they still
Yeah,
going?
yes, they are still going. Actually, I'm happy for them. They're still going. They're actually, we when I was there, we went from one studio to three studios. I was there after about a couple of years. The printing press that were the two arches next door to us shut down, and yeah, John and Sam, to their credit, kind of took a very big leap and took over the other two rooms. But then that allowed it to be much more of a bigger, an event space rather than just a small studio. It became much more an event space.
I'd be interested if they bought that space because that would be worth millions now, I'm sure.
No, I remember when we got it, it was a
That's
bit of a mess. It
exciting.
was just dusty. It was a big,
Oh, really?
dusty room. We all did as a team, I think, really, really well to turn it around to what it is now. And, when you look at pictures of it now online, it looks like a really fancy kind of trendy place to have your,
Yeah.
product launch or wedding and whatnot.
Yeah. Cool, cool.
But yeah, so yeah, that's how I got it. The reason I got that job was because when I came in to meet with Samantha at that time, I was the only one who didn't bring in a book of work of pictures.
Oh, the portfolio. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because everyone else, I think, who were applying for a job brought in a big book of work and
How come you
was
didn't have
showing
a
them.
portfolio?
Because I didn't think I had anything good to show. It's a true answer. That's a true answer. But also, the job didn't need it. When you read the job description, they weren't asking, can you take pictures? It was, can you make tea for 50 people? You chat to a stylist while they're waiting for these to come pick them up. Can you do it wasn't a job to take pictures. And I think I kind of knew that from the off. But what I did know was that it would put me in the room with people who
Yes.
were doing that. So, that's why I took that kind of leap. The reason I said about the keys was
Yeah.
because I left my keys in the house and they were on a little table thing behind the door. And I went and found some wire and some wood and I fashioned a thing to go through the door and grab the keys off the little table side and bring it back through the door and let myself in. And Samantha really, really liked that story. And she said to me when I got the job, she's like, I gave you the job because of that story, because you showed like actual, ingenuity to get through a problem or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, it does pay to get locked out every now and then, I guess. I guess it does pay to build something like that.
So everyone's got a little story. I love that story. Oh, actually, Gabriel, do you want to tell people where you are in the world? Because you've got an English accent, obviously, but you're
I'm
not in England.
English, but I'm not in England. I'm in the far-flung region of Canada, Toronto, in Canada.
Oh,
Yeah, I've moved out here in the last few months. It's very new to me. I live in, people can just about see it on my thing. I live in a big, as they call a condo. I've learned to
that's
say
it.
that now.
That's what
I've
they
learned to say
say.
all the words properly. I know. In a condo
So
building.
what would we call it? A flat?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. So basically, it's basically a flat. Basically a very posh flat. Lots of glass everywhere that shouldn't be here. It's always dirty, but that's fine. But it's nice, yeah. It was something very, very new for me.
Hmm.
Me and my partner, she is Canadian, hence why we came here, but wanted somewhere where we could both kind of live and work. And she wasn't keen on moving to London at that moment when we kind of made that decision. So I could get kind of a work visa here. So I have a short work visa here for a few years. So we ended up here in Tirana, as they say it like in the local dialect. Tirana,
Tirana.
not Toronto.
Tirana. Oh, sorry. I said, nice. Oh, cool. So what work have you been up to while you're there? If you can tell us a bit about your projects?
Right, so obviously, yeah, this is the first time I've ever done this thing where you leave all your paid work behind and go somewhere new and no one knows who you are, which is, if
Bit
everyone's doing
scary.
this, by the way, as a freelancer, it's not that easy. So maybe think about it before you do it, like I did. So I've been doing a lot of meeting people, actually a lot of this really, just trying to say, hello, can I come and meet you for a coffee or preferably a can of beer? Because beer means you're going to be friends. A coffee is more of a professional thing, but
Yeah.
and I've been doing a lot of that. So work-wise, I've been doing more stuff for kind of me, just trying to find stories to tell. I've been trying to really push myself more into kind of, documentary storytelling, I suppose, is a kind of place. So yeah, I've been trying to find people that I find very cool and interesting here and stuff like that, as well as, doing other stuff. So I met with a what's the word? A modeling like agency here. I'm doing a lot of, personal projects. I just done a kind of documentary film, some might say. I've done a short film. Get me, I'm becoming a real creative. So a short film and some stills about the last, as we would call probably in our dialect, a video shop. You know what I mean by that, right? A video shop. The last one here, or one of the last of two or three in Toronto, but they actually rent out movies, films. I see, I'm getting so North American. They actually rent out videos. But yeah, no, that's an example of just something that I heard about. There's a video shop that still's around, and you go in and rent it like a normal thing we used to do, and you browse, and then you take it to the till, and they give you it, and then you have it back in like three days. Like, yeah, that exists. Someone that we met the owner of that, yeah, it's great. I love it so much. When I met the guy who works there, we had a really nice chat for a couple hours. Yeah, so that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to do. I've got a few other ones that I haven't started yet, but a few other kind of cool stories, which I don't want to say anything about yet because I haven't shot them yet, mostly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
good.
what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, when I'm not getting permanently booked for the work that I'd love to get booked for, I'm going to go find the work that I want to do, and hopefully, if I do enough of these kind of personal shoots, they will lead
Yeah.
to what I want to do.
That's a nice way around it too. Like you said, if you're not getting booked up because I suppose when you were in the UK, you were getting booked up with all the client work and not doing your personal stuff. So now you've got a bit of time to breathe and do a bit of you, and then that could lead on to work. That'd be
Yeah, I
nice.
mean that's the key. I mean, I was always told
Yeah.
like the key to commercial work is personal work. So I'm just trying to balance the kind of books, keep everything there, keep the rent paid, keep the lights on, but
Yeah.
also find ways to shoot what I want to shoot in the hopes that when I go and shoot someone, they go, okay, great, we're going to hire you for the same thing for us now. So yeah,
Brilliant.
that's the
Brilliant.
kind of
Brilliant.
plan right now, to be honest.
Nice. Nice. So, have there any been like I suppose when you're in the UK, your clients, what were they like here? Were they quite big, or did anyone know about them, or were they any personal ones, or were they all professional?
I mean, yeah, when I was back in the UK, I mean, I very much think I went freelance at the worst time ever imaginable. I think. When I went freelance, I kind of started, assisting other photographers. So I met a lot of photographers over many years. Shout out to David Cummings, who was beautiful for me and really helped me learn a lot of stuff. Bruno Bap Batista. He was a really great photographer for me, taught me a lot. He gave me my first ever flash trigger system for free. It was really nice
Nice.
of him. Yeah, people like, there was an actually ex colleague of mine, Colin Ross, was really nice to me. He does like lovely still life stuff, which I don't do because I can't stand taking pictures of things that don't move. I find it too boring. But it was really great. I
Fair
learned a lot
enough.
of stuff from him. So yeah, I assisted a lot and did as much as I could, and slowly the jobs started coming in back to back, towards me. Um, yeah, I did a lot of portraits, and I think I slowly realized over the kind of time I like to photograph people, and
Hmm.
especially people doing things, and I think that was a good experience for me, just doing all these random jobs. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, I've done a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
random
yeah,
jobs, and some of them I'm proud of, some of them I'm not so proud of, I suppose.
yeah. But I like the we were talking just before we came on air, the photograph you took of Lucy Werner. She's kind of leaning on her arms and chin. Yeah, she's great.
I guess in people who maybe have seen this know Lucy. These are my favorite people in the world. Ciao, Lucy. Adrian, how you doing, my boy? Love you as well. Yes, Lucy, my old neighbor. Another thing, people talk to your neighbors, talk to the
Yeah,
people around you, because you never know what they're going to do or what they're going to go to. Yes. So I took that picture of Lucy in France in her house, and just the kind of favor to her, I shot her product. And now I love when I see it on her emails and on her
yeah,
speaking gigs or that, and I see it up there, and it's really nice to see. And it's just
yeah,
nice
yeah,
to see that they did genuinely like the thing you did.
yeah.
So when they are using it, it's like
And
great.
then you see it again
It's
and
really
again
nice
and
to them.
again. Yeah, exactly,
And again and
exactly.
again.
Yeah, nice, nice. Is anyone? I know Lucy's famous in our world. Is there anyone famous you've taken photographs of?
Yeah, I've been, lucky enough to kind of take pictures of famous people, I suppose. Again, that was just a job that came to me. Shout out people, because I've not done this by myself. Every time I've grown or got another level up in my career, it's someone who has helped me.
I do ask people what their catalyst connection is, but you sounds like you've got lots. Like, who's that person that you've come across that has helped you in your career, that's helped you get by or to the next
Uh,
level, what you want to get to? You must have. You sound like you've got a lot.
I know I'm forgetting all of them. That's the thing. I'm sitting here now thinking, I know I'm going to go off this call and go, oh, I didn't shout out them. I
It's
didn't
all
shout
right.
out
It's all good.
them. I mean, everyone in my life has helped me at some point, and I appreciate all of them. So I'll just say that to cover my absolute bases. From my mum. My mum still does. My mum's always been a
Yeah,
big supporter of me, and always just been absolutely fine with what I'm doing, even even back in the early days when I was like, "Hey, mum, can I borrow £300 because I want to go do this shoot? Also, I can't pay rent." She would be like,
yeah,
"Okay, fine, you can
yeah.
borrow a bit of money
Bless.
here."
Yeah,
My like dad for always saying that I was good. Although the other day he did finally say to me, how old am I now? I'm age 33 now, and he said to me, "You are getting kind of good, aren't you?" It was nice. Just nice. I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks, Dad. I'm getting there.
That's-
I'm getting.
you
I'm
get
kind
there.
of getting all right. I'm getting
It's like
there."
the recognition.
The recognition of your father is all a man wants, clearly. Yeah, so I am now finally getting kind of good, according to my dad, which is very nice. I met, well, Rich from Loftus Media gave me an email or something like that. I forget how, and he just said, someone who shoots for us has seen your work and likes your stuff, and it got to him somehow. And he looked at my stuff and liked it, and again, that was all just tests. That was all personal work. The thing that he'd seen was just that's where I used to rent a studio. He'd
Right, it's all right.
quite a lot of those shoots were it was Georgia Lee. That's again, I just want to shout out everyone who's ever helped me. So I keep shouting them out because again, it's nothing to do with me. It's all to do with them. Georgia Lee, who's a model booker, but she used to send me all the girls she had in like town who would fly in for a couple of days, and I just get into my studio and just shoot whenever I could. And a lot
Brilliant.
of the time, I would go down to the vintage shop in Hackney, buy a bunch of clothes, buy a bunch of dresses, and whatever I could find. I was good. I was stylist. I was yeah, stylist, lighting assistant, DJ, chef for the lunch. Yeah, I know on those shoots I would just so it was me, I used to rent a studio space with Barley and Craig. Shout out to Craig Gibson, one of the best photographers I've ever got to work closely. He's way better than me, I think, but
Hmm.
yeah, he's really great. Yeah, so all those kind of shoots were just me trying stuff. As I said, I go down and get this random styling from a vintage shop that I thought was cool, go to Aldi on the way back, buy some grapes, buy some water, buy some snacks. If I could, I'd get, a stylist or a makeup artist.
Yeah.
on some shoots and put together something and just have fun, have some fun. And all those shoots ended up going online. And then Rich saw those shoots and thought they were, I guess, good is a word, I guess. And yeah, so then that's what got me in with the BBC, because Rich and Loftus Media have a contract at the BBC, which has led me to doing a bunch of like portraiture work for them.
So that
And
was one
that,
of my questions. Who was one of your famous people that you've taken a portrait of?
yeah, I mean, I think the biggest one is probably Usher. No, I think I also shot him just before his Super Bowl show, so that kind of helped, I think. But you never know. Like I shot them, the band Sparks. Don't know if you know Sparks.
No.
Exactly. I'll
Not
admit
yet.
I'm a bit too young to have known Sparks when they're still not making music. I shot Sparks, and someone was like, "Oh my god, the biggest band to me in the world. They're so famous to me. I can't believe you met them." And I was like, "Yeah, they were just two really nice guys." But I guess yeah, Usher would be up there. Olivia Rodrigo, pop star, would be up there. One of
I
my
know
favorite
her.
ones, well, actually one of my first ones, and I wish I got to shoot him a bit later on when I had a bit more a surety of what I could and couldn't do with people was Pedro Pascal. And Pedro, he has the softest hands, is what I would say. Sense. But he was the most a gentleman. But it was one of the weird times where I was left alone with them. Usually when I do these things, you've got PRs, you've got producers, you've got assistants, you've got managers, you've got everyone
Yeah.
around you, like crowding around going, you have one minute, my client, go. And you have to get something in 1 minute. But this was one time where I got left alone with him in a little stairwell. I didn't shoot for very long. When I look back at that set with uh, Pedro, I have like 25 frames, 30 frames max.
Wow.
Because I was just
Yeah.
talking to him like this, a nice chat. We were just chatting.
Yeah,
And
just
then
have a nice chat. Yeah.
I remember him saying something along the lines of like, he found it funny that we were just me and him alone. And he was like, "Oh, it's been a long time since it's been like,
Can
what
you imagine?
what's the word?
Wow.
Like
Having someone around
just
you all the time
one on
and
one,
he's
just
one on one.
one on
Yeah.
one. We were in a back room in a back stairwell of BBC one on one, just chatting. And so yeah, I shot like 25 frames quickly and just started talking to him. He was lovely. Yeah, there's been a lot. There's been a lot. So yeah, one of the ones that was the best experience for me was Corinne Bailey Ray. Do you know Corinne
Oh
Bailey
yes,
Ray?
I do. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
love
So
her.
most people,
Yeah.
if you don't know her, will know her as the girl who put her record on
Or
famously,
records
I
on.
think.
Yeah.
And that's who people know her as.
Yeah.
But that one, yeah, I got to shoot her in Maida Vale Studio 2, I think it is. The big one, the famous one. So, yeah, the Maida Vale with they did all the classic little stuff there. They did all the sounds like Doctor Who there. It's a establishment. I think the BBC have sold it and they're renting it back. I don't really, that's a crazy thing that's going on over there. But anyway, yeah, it's a proper, British establishment. So many things that happened there, which I would wish I could be a fly on the wall for those walls.
Mm.
But anyway, so yeah, I ended up getting booked to shoot her, doing this like live set with just her in Studio 2, which is the room where I think Bing Crosby recorded White Christmas, something crazy. Anyway, yeah, that was really beautiful because I obviously knew her and she's a great singer, but I didn't really know a lot about her. But let me tell you, when you're one on one with her in a studio like that, it was just her and the piano player. I think it's her husband or partner, I think. One on one, just her singing to him in a giant studio and just me walking around. It was one of the most insane experiences of my entire life, probably, I would say.
And that studio must
Yeah.
be like just
I
out of this
couldn't
world.
I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. It was wild.
Did it hinder your work, or did you get more excited about it?
It's good. That's probably a very good question. To end my work, probably a little bit because I was almost more scared of her when she started singing because she became this like this
Force.
aura, this like energy ball of, and I was like, oh, I'm now scared of you. But no, that was really great. That was really fun. But again, there was another shoot where things went wrong. The light which I was having to use because it's the one they have there. I got it out, set it up, ready to go with her, and the battery failed. I don't know what because I hadn't checked it. I don't remember what I hadn't done. And I went to go get another battery, and someone had locked the door where the batteries were, so I couldn't go get the battery. So I had this whole shot in my mind of putting her in the middle of the studio and lighting her, some really intense lighting, and having it all around her, and I
Yeah.
couldn't do it. So I just sat her there. I got her standing there anyway and shot and still shot the
Yeah.
frame, but it's not as what I had in my head, but it's still okay. Then my like flash
Oh.
didn't work for some reason, but she was
If something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong, isn't it? It's just like everything.
it all went wrong that shoot. It all
But
went
the
wrong.
photographs look great in the end.
So I mean, I keep hearing people talk about storytelling, and I
Yeah, I
think it
think it's
probably is pretty big and important. And so I'm trying to actively get better at it. Hence, making these little films for myself with people I find interesting. Even I said, I actually think going back and looking at your old work it's a very scary thing, and I don't like doing it. I don't like looking back at stuff. But actually, some of it you go, you know what? I actually smashed that one. I did that. Yeah, that's good. I
That's
did
so
that
cool.
one.
That's so cool. That's so
But
cool.
there's a lot where I'm like, I should have done this. I should have done this. But I know that I
Yeah.
couldn't have done that because I did know what I know now. So how could I have
Yeah.
known that then?
Yeah.
So try and cut some slack. So yeah, so my website right now, I'm trying to move it around to stories. So literally every night I'm writing, I'm going back to old work and going, right, this girl here who I shot in my studio for a few hours, what was the things that we talked about? You know, um, I met a girl from Canada, Taylor, who now live here now. He told me all about Canada and we had a lovely chat. I met a girl from France who was teaching me French while we were shooting. And it's nice to kind of go back and remember all these things and look at the old pictures and go, yeah, that was the day when, we had grapes. And then
Yeah.
she suddenly had to say grapes in French and that was fun. And then this happened and this happened.
Yeah.
And it's all these
It's
little,
really nice because I think because also if you do actually write that up on your website, that'd be great because a lot of people see the photograph but they don't know the story behind it, and sometimes people want a bit of a story. They want to be sold into the image.
I mean, I am doing it because I think creatives like us, it's like us, we like to know what someone else has done. When you see a thing online, you're like, I mean, sometimes for me, I'm like, yeah, but is that lit? Is it natural light? Did they use this? Did they use that? I'm always kind of thinking a little bit. So I'm not doing like kind of like a full tech breakdown of this is
Mm,
what I shot. I use this setting, this setting, this setting, because every setting's different. There's no point knowing what my camera settings were
yeah.
because even if you have the exact same studio in the same space and the sun's a bit different, it's gonna be different. There's
I
no
think
point
that'd
knowing
be
if I
nice
shot
in
at
a different. I think that's
f4.
nice in a different space if you were doing a YouTube tutorial telling people, "Oh, to get this photograph, I use this light or I use this camera."
But I think when you get into all the light was 1 foot 3 inches or whatever off the ground, and the settings were f2 at 400 a second.
Yeah.
It doesn't. That was what happened in that literal split second was the right thing. Come back tomorrow and it'll be half that, double that. So yeah, I don't know. So storytelling. So that's been going back. So going back at these old shoots has really allowed me to kind of see where I've come from and the things that I've learned. And I'm trying to be quite honest with it as I kind of do it. I'm trying to be quite open and saying like, this shoot wasn't good. This shoot was bad. Now looking back at it, this shoot was bad. And so I'll shout out photographer Rebecca Marshall, who is based in France, actually, not far from our mutual friend Lucy. I got this idea from her. I'm going to help my hands up and tell her that I actually came across her website. She does some really cool stuff, and she did a few shoots in Cannes. And I was really inspired by seeing her stories of her shoots where she fully wrote them up and was not mean, that's the wrong word, was very honest about people in her shot. She talks about shooting someone quite famous, like a Julia Roberts or something like that, someone quite big. And too. But as usual, these things, the kind of PR said one thing, and then when it came to shoot minute, they went, no, sorry, you can't do that. You get to do it down here, whatever. And in Rebecca's blog, she wrote up this whole story and was kind of
Okay.
like calling out people. It's like, this is great. This is like I'm there. This is amazing. So I kind of I basically gave her an email. I was like, can I come and meet you? And she said yes. And I talked to her about that and actually just some bit of advice. I'm in a place to like, kind of basically give any like sort of advice really. But something I've learned, especially over the last few months, obviously being here in Toronto now, is people will always say yes to meeting. Not always. People will quite more often than not say yes. As long
But
as you're not
yes.
shooting
Yeah.
too kind of high,
Yeah.
I've emailed some really big photographers who blanked me. I emailed them again, they've blanked me. That's fine. I've emailed people 3, 4 times, not heard back. And that sucks and it's embarrassing to keep sending email going, hey, it's
No,
it's
but you
me
tried.
again.
You did it. No. Keep going.
But
I mean,
but you never know who's gonna say yes. And people
yeah.
like Rebecca said yes. And I was like, I'm just a guy who found your site. I thought you were really cool.
Mhm.
Can I come meet you? And she was like, well, if you can come to where I am, yeah, I can meet you for a coffee.
Yeah.
And that's great. And that's really fun. Learned a lot from her in that one meeting and stuff like that. So if there was almost one thing to say to your listeners and stuff is
Yeah.
if you find someone who's done something cool, send me an email. You can find an email somewhere and be like, hey, this is really cool. Can I come talk to you more about it?
Yeah.
Or can you explain
Yeah.
more about
It's about
A, B,
reach.
C?
Yeah.
So seeing her do that kind of inspired me to do that for my own stuff. And something that I wanted to do,
Mhm.
no matter what already, but then seeing her do that, I was like, right, I really want to do it. So it's taken me months. And then my partner will tell you now, she's sick of me going on about this because I'm every time I think it's done, I'm like, oh, but I'm going to do a few more shoots. So yeah, so hopefully I have that done and uploaded and online. So by the time this goes out, maybe if someone goes on my website, maybe it'll be there, maybe it won't, but we'll see.
Your future is at the portfolio, or what's your dream project? Who would you love to work with?
I mean, it's a good question in a sense. I think the thing is I don't know who I'd like to work with. I just want to anyone who's doing something that is interesting and cool.
Mm.
Yeah, there are certain brands I would like to shoot for. Like when I was a young kid, I remember. Buy is the wrong word. They were free. Getting Vice, you remember Vice magazine? I think
It's
it's come back
magazine. Yeah,
recently.
yeah,
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 I
yeah,
think it's come back recently. I remember being a kid and seeing Vice and thinking it was just the coolest thing in the world, and
yeah,
everything
yeah.
for Vice was just. I thought if I could shoot for Vice one day, I would have
I've
made it.
made
Obviously,
it.
they've gone on a bit of a weird up and downiness in the
Yeah,
last 10,
and
15
closed
years or
and
so.
opened. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they'd be my dream client now, but I would love to shoot stuff like that. I love when I'm giving a kind of open brief and allowed to do what I want with it. I'm trying to think which ones I can and can't talk about. So I'm just thinking about because there's some that I can't discuss, but there's some that I can. But yeah, no, I would say I've got a dream client. And I think that's good. I don't want to. Some will say, "Oh, I want to get a Vogue cover," and that's fine. And if you want to get a Vogue cover, that's great. I would love to have a Vogue cover. Don't get me wrong. So Vogue, if you're listening,
Well, let's
yes,
manifest.
sure.
Let's manifest.
Yeah, sure. That would be great. I'm happily. I mean, I've been on set when I've been shot. I've seen them be shot. I know
You
what
know
it's
what to
like to
do.
shoot a
Yeah,
Vogue
yeah,
cover.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Vogue, if you're listening,
Gosh, what's his name? He's left now, though, hasn't he? The editor, black guy, Emmanuel. Oh, what's his
Edward
name?
NFL.
That's it. Yeah.
Edward NFL. And again,
Do you not know
I
him?
was on a shoot with him. And that one, who do I shout out for that? Sophia Spring, who does a beautiful, very light, very well lit, like portrait work. Yeah, she was really cool. She's a really nice work. I did a shoot with
Haven't you
him and
got his
her.
number in your phone book?
No, because that's that awful thing of like when you're on a shoot with. I mean, some photographers. It's that horrible thing which I found when I was younger. I mean, I still am assisting sometimes when I need some money and stuff. But when you're on a shoot with a photographer and you want to shoot for the person they're shooting for or with, it's that horrible thing of like I want to ask for an email or ask for a number, but you kind of can't because that's rude
It's
to
that
the
etiquette.
photographer you're assisting. Yeah, there are certain rules that are spoken unspoken, and so yeah, I was on a shoot with Edward and all his team, and Sophia was shooting it, and plenty of times where I was alone with him and his team in the back, and they prepping some lighting or something, and after the shoot, and it's like I would love to say to him, if you ever need someone else, give me an email or give me a number. You're there right there, and it's like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know if I send an email to edward@vogue.com, it's gonna get blank. They don't
It's
know. They're
gonna.
not gonna look.
Yeah,
They're not gonna look at
yeah,
it. But if
yeah,
I talk to him right now in front of him, or to
yeah,
his PR, his manager,
yeah.
they will know. They will trust me 10 million times more because they can see my face and hear my voice. I've been freelance for a year and a half, 2 years before COVID hit, and COVID was massive for all of us. Anyone who works in the creative industry, especially the freelancer, COVID, and in London, especially up north as well. COVID really did just put a crazy blocker in. I don't remember that time, to be honest. I don't have a clear memory of all
Mhm.
those years and how long it was. But what I think COVID did, at least in my line of work and what I can see, is it almost scared people to move up a level, and people couldn't move up a level. Maybe I don't know what it is, but there were some photographers who I was kind of like, I was shooting for pre-COVID stuff. It was at a certain level, and the way that photography goes is that you should grow from here to here, and you start off doing your own little test shoots or student projects, and then maybe get some small brand stuff, and then maybe get some cheap stuff at a magazine, maybe a small magazine, and maybe a big magazine gets you on a cheap little job, and you go grow and grow from there until you have, do like Vogue cover or the big billboard in Times Square, whatever you want. But what COVID seemed to do to a lot of photographers is kind of stop them where they were. Does that mean that everyone behind them also stopped? I don't know if this makes any sense
No, it does.
at
It does
all,
make
but
sense. Yeah.
it's people that, when was COVID? I don't even remember. Let's just say people in 2018, that is pre-COVID, right? People in
That's
2018 who were
pre-COVID. Yeah.
shooting maybe kind of covers for, I don't want to name names because I know some budgets that they probably don't
Yeah.
want out out there, but
Don't worry. Don't worry.
for let's say some reasonably big mags, but nothing huge that might pay 350 for a kind of like cover shoot. So it's £50 for a kind of shoot,
Mm,
which let me tell everyone that is not enough money. Just going to say it very clearly for people in the
mm.
back. That is not enough money for a cover shoot. And if you're listening, people who book that, book me, but that's not enough money to do a cover shoot. Anyway, but that is and was what the rate was at certain places then, and probably unfortunately now, I wouldn't be surprised. So people who are shooting that kind of pre-COVID, then still doing it a year and a half after COVID. And it's like, no, you all need to
Oh,
have moved up
you need
for
to
the
move
next
up.
batch
Yeah.
to move up.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all need to move
Yeah.
up together. So when that photographer goes from that £350 shoot to the £1,500 a day shoot doing something else,
Yeah.
that's when, I would have come in behind them and done the next that. And then we all kind of move
Yeah.
up together. And I really think COVID put a big blocker on that ladder,
Yeah.
and it kind of I don't know how to describe it any more clear than that. It
No, I think
cascaded
you
downwards.
yeah, 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 and also you mentioned it earlier on, I think. You said, there was a point where you just, had that, the career just had to stop and there was a block for a bit. Was that it?
I kind of was on a certain way up, and then COVID came, and I had to accept that if I was gonna keep paying rent, I'd have to assist more. And guess what? I went back to Sainsbury's. So yeah, I had to go back to Sainsbury's, picking the shelves. I had to assist a lot more and stuff. And yeah, COVID was a thing. I think it pushed me personally and everyone I've known back by at
Mhm,
least a couple of years, at least the length of
mm.
COVID, if not more.
So to end on and round up before I ask you to answer some quick questions, what would you tell your teenage self?
Yeah, what would I tell my teenage self? I mean, it is gonna be hard, bro. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be hard. I mean, the main thing is just to keep on going in a straight line as much as you can. The line will never ever be straight, and it will feel like one day you're up, next day you're down. It's one step forward, two steps back, seven steps forward, two steps back, three steps forward. It's up and down, and I think it's just trying to keep yourself on that median and noticing that it is on an upward trend overall.
I
And
love
things
that.
might feel like you've gone back, and the trend is long. It's not a week, day, month, year
Mm,
trend. It's a life trend, and
mm.
as long as I'm genuinely getting better, as my dad told me I am getting better, so yeah, I'm getting better. Oh, that is so black dads for you. That is, that's like, I love you,
Getting
dad, but
better.
oh my God, he's
That's
finally
so
got the
funny.
approval.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I would tell myself. It's going to be hard,
yeah,
but it is, as long as things are on upper trend, it's fine. And as I keep saying, and I will always bang in the drum for this, it's the people that you know. It's the people that bring you back. Working with
yeah,
people who scare you, who are better than you, is the best thing you can do. Every time that I've learned something, it's from someone who's better than me at that thing. And it's what I've had to learn. I'm still not great at sometimes, but it's not. Don't be jealous. Just ask them how they did it, or ask them something. There's multiple people who I've watched their work for years, and when I was younger, would be like, oh, it's annoying that they got that because maybe they have more money than me, and they can do that shoot, and maybe their
yeah.
parents paid for a studio for them, all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't really get you anywhere.
No, no.
Being angry is fine. It might help for an evening, but it doesn't. You don't actually get any work out of
Do you
that.
know what? I've got, from what you've had with our discussion so far in our chat, I feel like that, you're a very, open, cool, friendly guy, and that's mostly why people like you, want to give you that next, get you in that certain door, or get you here, or
I
say,
hope
come and
so.
do this. Or no, I think so. I kind of got that gist from our conversations.
I try to be nice, but
Yeah,
honestly, I can't tell you. Yeah, that is my big thing. Surround yourself with people who want to help you,
yeah,
but also are better than you. Like my partner now, Alea. Hey, baby, I love you. She's been a really big help. She's kind of come from the more tech world and has made me be a bit more business focused and really pushed me to be is if we're going to this place, make it worth it and meet some people there. And
yeah, yeah.
I did some work for Associated Press last year, and hopefully this year during Cannes Film, and that all came from her pushing me to go out and meet people,
I'll meet people.
and that came
Nice.
from me meet people in a kind of bar at 9, 10 o'clock in Cannes, and then we were up till 4 a.m. and I got invited to someone's birthday party the next night. And then I'm seated next to one of the biggest photo editors for Associated Press, Diane. Hey, bro, who's been a lovely person to meet, and again, someone who's just been around the block and knows his
Yeah,
stuff. I will
I'm
swore
willing
there.
to
Knows
share
his
too.
stuff.
Those
His stuff. Yeah, willing
yeah,
to share and willing to to
yeah.
give me a small chance. Yeah, Diane's one of those people who I love, and I would
I
love to
love
tell him
that.
that
It
more to
seems
his
like you.
face.
I think, if you ever come to London, please let's go for a drink. I'd love to.
I'm always in London. I'm back in May. Don't worry.
In May. All
I'm
right,
back
give me a shout, please.
in May. Come in. But yeah, that's why I keep saying people, because I've not made this career. They all have. Everyone who I've mentioned by name, I'm sure I've forgotten some people, but
Don't worry, don't
all the
worry.
way back from Alex in college, and Chris, my college teacher, all the way through to people like a day on Associated Press, and Rich at Loftus and BBC and stuff. Like all these people on the way, Colin Ross at Motel, who people who know Colin love him. They know he can be a little bit strict sometimes, and Colin was strict with me. But you
Well,
know
that's
what?
good.
I
But
I
yeah,
I
you
had
did
work.
it.
I've always got better. I've always got better.
Yeah,
Friends like Zach. Shout out to Zach.
yeah, yeah.
We all came up together, but everyone who I surround myself with has somehow made me better. And that is the key. So I put everything that I've ever done, I put down to them, and I just press
Brilliant.
a little button. That's what I say to everyone. People ask me what I do. I just press a little button most of the time,
Oh,
and
that's
that is
so
the
cool.
truth. It's all I do.
Oh, thank you, Gabriel. That's so cool. On the podcast, I talk to people of colour, and I also like to ask them if there is anything along their career paths, or even when they were younger, if something hindered them or elevated them for their skin tone, basically. So, of being of colour, because sometimes it can help, and then sometimes it gets, you can have a negative, and you walk in a room and you're that only one. Or is there anything that's maybe even one of those elevated you or hindered you?
Yeah, and I was trying to think about it as you were speaking there. I think the worst thing is I don't know. I think it's actually the worst answer I can give, and this is my truthful answer. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know if there's been plenty of times where I've applied for stuff or thought I was ready to do stuff, and people didn't give me the thing I thought was going to come my way, which is fine. People don't have to give you anything; they give you stuff. You can't be sure if it's a race thing. You just don't know. People are very rarely going to tell you that they're racist.
Yeah, of
They
course.
don't usually tell you
Yeah.
with their whole chest most of the time.
Yeah, the whole chest, that's true.
So yeah, so I can't say directly. I mean, there's been a few occasions where I've felt certain ways in certain rooms, and as a non-white creative, I mean, first of all, I've always been called black. This is always what I've been called, even though I am half white, half black. It's always kind of seemed to me that if you aren't white, then you're black. If you're not fully white, then you're black. Sorry, if you're over there, those guys, which is fine. I'm totally down with that. So yeah, I mean, usually I found myself most of the time being the only black non-white person on a set. That has been my experience through most shoots. You might get a black stylist every now and then, but you rarely get a black like photographer or assistant or I'm trying to think of the jobs or producer.
Producer.
It's just rarer. I mean, I'm not saying it exists. I know there's thousands out there, probably thousands of people, all
Well,
these
this is
roles. That's
it's
great.
funny because that's why I'm trying to get out of this podcast and like elevate people too and get them, hopefully whoever's listening could maybe hire you or just say, oh, I
Yeah,
heard about so and so and I heard about Gabriel over here on this podcast. So it's about,
yeah.
well, for me, I'm sure there are thousands out there, but like you said, you hardly see them
Where
when
are
you
they?
go on shoots.
Be what
Where
I
are they?
ask. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
again, I'm not. I don't want to sound too down. Like like
No,
you
no,
said,
no, no. Yeah.
Edward NFL made it to vote to be
Yeah.
he made it to the very top. And I remember on that shoot, his whole team were black. He had black stylists, black makeup artists, all that kind of stuff. But it almost as if he had to get there for them to get there. Almost.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't think maybe they wouldn't have been hired if he wasn't the guy in charge at that time. But no, me
Really?
personally, I can't think of a direct. I mean, I don't want to say yes and bring up examples that I can't
No, no,
prove.
no, 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 no,
'Cause,
no,
yeah, I
no.
don't want to throw stuff at people, but there have been times where I felt that way. But there's also been a few times, and I won't name names, but I have said their name right in the podcast. So people who've phoned me up afterwards and said, "I've just thought of something that happened, and I'm sorry if you took it in that way." When I've been asked
Really? And you did,
when things are
and
not, when things haven't worked.
yeah,
Maybe didn't think of it in that way, and then they say, "Hey, I just want to talk to you. Like, sorry that this happened."
mm,
And I'm like, "Oh, was it a race? I didn't even think of it like that, but maybe it was a race thing."
yeah, okay,
When someone phones you to say
yeah.
sorry, it's like, "What did I miss? What happened? What?"
I missed
So
that.
maybe this happens
Yeah,
a million times, and that I just have never noticed it. People
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
phoned me to
yeah,
say sorry afterwards, but
yeah,
yeah, I would love to think it hasn't, but I'm sure it has held me back multiple times, but you just can't prove it, unfortunately.
yeah. Well, you're very good anyway at what you do, so you just carry on doing you. And all of my guests, I ask a quick fire fun in 5 question, and you've got to answer really quickly. Most of them don't, but anyway, let's try. Okay. Right, crisp or chocolates?
A crisp, but
Beach
can I
or
say which crisp?
forest?
Beach or forest? Forest.
Book or
Forests.
Kindle?
Say book or Kindle.
Kindle.
Book. Easy.
Reggae or
That's so
soul?
hard. Soul. It's
Catty.
because it's actually got some soul. I mean, reggae has as well. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, reggae just feels a little bit too. We have to start fighting now. Okay, we got all the way through this without fighting. It's gonna be soul. Anyway, soul.
I'm not gonna question your answers. No. You've
My
told
mum
me
would
yours.
say soul, so I will say soul.
Okay, all right. Go with mum's choice. Last one, patty or a sandwich?
Patty or sandwich? That is crazy. Oh my god, that is as someone who's both half white and half black. You're pitting both sides of my heritage against each other. I can't answer that. I'm not going to answer that. That's too much. That is the most offensive question I've ever heard in my life. All right, okay. They're both delicious. All right.
Okay, let's leave it there.
Grandma left on the left side with the patty, the chicken patty. Oh my god. when they're
Yeah.
cooked right and they're fried right. But
Mm.
my white grandma on the other side, when she makes egg mayonnaise sandwich, like she knows when I'm coming down to town, my grandma goes shopping for me to get me eggs. Oh, if I really
This
had to be
question,
honest,
it's so funny because this is meant to be like quick fire five, and then people do tell me these
no, this
stories.
is a serious debate. You can't quickfire this. This is not made for quickfire. That's literally my heritage on both sides. You can't put me against Joe and expect me to argue. So both of
Bless you.
them, chicken patty, egg mayo sandwich on the
Okay.
same plate with
All right,
a
I'll let you
Ribena,
have
please.
both of them then. Ribena. Okay, I'll let you have that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Gabriel. Can you do
Thank
me
you.
a last request and tell people where they can find you so they can look you up? I will put it in the show notes, but let them know where they can find you and if they
Yeah.
would like to connect.
Yeah. If you want to connect with me and hang out on Instagram, I'm Gabriel Red Photo, Red with 2 Ds. So GABRIELREDD photo, PHOTO. My website is GabrielHutchinson.com. Send me an email if you want. Send me an email. Like, hello at
I'll put it in
GabrielHutchinson.com.
yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
You've
and
said it.
that's all in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anyone wants to hire me, please do. I always need the work, but to put it bluntly,
Perfect.
if anyone
That's
wants to
true.
hang out and chat, please send me an email. Please give me a call. Happy to
Nice.
chat. And yeah, that's me. I've got nothing to kind of shout out yet. Yeah,
Brilliant.
keep
Well,
an eye on it.
we look
Hopefully
forward to
next time
see
we
your
talk, we'll have some more stuff.
portfolio and the storytelling.
I'm trying. Doing my
Thank
best.
you, Gabriel, for joining me today. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you very much. I really appreciate the time being here. It's
Cool.
been really
Cool.
fun, and I hope someone's got something out of this somewhere.
Let me start by giving thanks. Thank you for tuning in to Creatives Like Us. I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it thought-provoking, inspiring and entertaining. If you did, it would absolutely make my day if you could share, subscribe, rate, review, wherever you get your podcasts from. Also, if you have a question or a comment, I'd love to hear from you. All the ways to connect are in the notes. And until next time, keep being creative like us.